Welcome to Smart Living. And as you can see, I am here. Well, you can't see. We're on podcast. But sitting next to me is Linda Williams. And for those of you who have not familiar with that name, well, Linda Williams has actually been a journalist in the Valley for over 42 years. And she has just recently somewhat retired from her job, but she most certainly hasn't retired from life.
I have not.
Not at all.
I have embraced life. It's so much fun. Everyone, they'll say, we miss you, but how do you like retirement? And I'm like, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't apologize. You earn it.
Right.
When people say congratulations, they're saying congratulations on, getting all your ducks in a row and being able to walk away from, from a career,
an amazing
a job
career.
To do something else.
But not only that amazing career, but let's talk a little bit about your career because that's how people know about you.
Okay.
But we're also going to talk about, because I know you save money, so we're going to talk about some money saving stuff too. So first of all, you retired. It was January 1st, 2024 was your last day at Fox News. Now, everybody wants to know, if they haven't heard about, why did you leave?
So many things stack up. Mm-hmm. The business has changed. The stories that I could once tell that I could take 3 minutes to tell, I could now take a minute 10.
Yeah.
Just the culture had changed to the point where, could I pivot and adjust? Heck yeah, because I've been pivoting and adjusting all this time. But, my financial advisor said, you don't have to do that anymore if you don't want to. And I said, really? And she said, really? But it was petrifying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I just walked away and said, see ya. I was petrified. I'm like, what's my identity? How do I, when I call people, I'm always like, hi, it's Linda Williams calling from, Fox 10 News. And now it's like, hi, Linda Williams calling from.
Oh, I know. That's a hard one.
Home. Where am I calling? Calling from Daphne's studio, calling from. So I thought once I left that my identity would fade and shatter, but it didn't. It turns out that whatever identity I have comes from here. And that's what I'm telling everybody. Don't let your brand or your company or whatever become your identity. I am a journalist today if I still want to be. I mean, if I want to pick up my phone and write a story and put it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, I'm a citizen journalist. So
I love that. Citizen journalist.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I've never heard that term before.
Really?
Yeah.
It's out there, and there are plenty of them. Everyone who's got one of these can be one or is one. So I think that helped me wean from, I'm not on TV anymore, as there are so many other platforms to get your voice and your opinions out there.
I'm so glad you see that, because when I left ABC 15 in 2016, the word content creator wasn't there.
Did not exist.
Social media was like, it was being pushed, thrown down my throat, and it felt like an invasion of my personal privacy.
I remember.
And I was just like, so then when I left, I was like, well, what is this, right? Yeah. And everyone's like, well, can you come over and like do video? I'm like, okay, but where do you want me to put it?
Yes, exactly.
So, but now it's very clear how the world is, and I'm glad you see that vision.
Trending. I do.
Okay.
Now, I was the same thing. I'm like, I don't, I resisted. I don't want to do Twitter. Why are we doing this? People don't care what I had for lunch. Right. Turns out they do.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And where I ate and what it cost. So,
so
it was an easy transition. But I'm happy being retired. I'm happy not having that daily pressure, the commute, so many things that come with a 9 to 5.
Right. No, you're retired from Fox 10 News. You're not retired. You just haven't quite found what the next thing is.
Right. I turned the page. I got my real estate license because I love real estate stories.
I know. And you love houses too.
I love houses. I love your house. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm launching a career at a time where, the industry, real estate, is in flux. But I've got the skill set to deal with pressure, pivoting, people emotional. My skill set sets me up for that.
Oh my God, you are full of confidence. I
I'm
wish I
ready.
would have talked to you like 8 years ago when I left my job and be like, Linda, could you tell me how it's going to turn out for me?
I would have said you're going to soar.
Yeah.
I would have, because It's about relationships and it's about personality, and you've got it in spades.
Ditto, both.
Yes.
Both you and I have it.
Thank
we
you.
are quite talented. If I can just pat both of ourselves on
Can
the
I
back
come over
there.
again tomorrow and do this? And we can do this self-affirming type way to launch our day.
Well, we were talking about journalism and how it's changed, and it's all about social media and stuff like that. Let me ask you a question. Where do you see journalism going? I know that's kind of a subjective question, but where do you see it going from here? Like, anybody can be a citizen journalist, you said.
Journalism right now is local news, is struggling to stay relevant in a world that has moved to its phone and to digital. We should have started at least, and we did start dating digital, but we didn't start
10 years
soon
ago.
enough.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
By
only been
now,
like 2 years that our local news stations have apps.
said, oh my gosh, this is what we better jump on. But so I don't think they saw the train, but they didn't know how to jump on board. So now, now that we're kind of dating, we need to marry somehow the two and keep us both relevant. Well, digital has no problem staying relevant.
Right.
But in order to stay relevant, and I see that happening in so many ways.
Okay.
And can it stay relevant? I don't know. I don't know what it looks like. It's going to be a hybrid. But you know me.
Yeah, hybrid.
Yes.
For sure.
I love a good fight, and if I'd stayed in, I would have been down for that fight.
Right.
To stay relevant, more like, what do you need me to do? Podcast? Okay.
Right.
Live Facebook on when I'm at a scene. All right, I can do that. I can, But
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was
That's
going to
right.
say, you said podcast. Channel 3 has a lot of their talent doing podcasts. I think that is genius.
Right. It is.
And they're vesting in their talent,
But
too.
see, they have to figure out, and this is why they were not such dinosaurs, but because no one could figure out how to monetize it, they didn't commit to it.
Right.
They're like, well, why are we going to do this and build this? We haven't figured out how to monetize it yet. Sometimes you just got to jump and then figure out how to monetize it later,
right.
or else it's going to come and beat you over the head.
Bingo.
Right.
Because everyone's like, Daphne, how are you making money on your podcast? You don't have any advertising. I go, I'm actually making
So I
money.
open my shirt and there's a big, Clorox, bleach, it's the best. Right on my shirt. Yeah, no.
Right in the middle of a podcast.
Yes, no, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, absolutely. It's a grassroots thing. So,
It is.
which if I can just add, I'm going to go ahead and just advertise for myself.
Please do.
But I'm going to be starting actually to teach money saving classes around the valley.
Oh,
So the
good.
Phoenix Public Library, I just had a wonderful meeting with them,
wow.
and they're so excited. And they just asked me to teach 8 courses starting in September. They're 2-hour workshops for targeting all kinds of audiences. I'll be
So
mentioning
you
more
will
of that.
take like a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 14. That is brilliant.
Yeah, or a 20-year-old or a 60-year-old.
Well, I got to tell you about the time I gave a certified check, sent it to my son in Tucson to give to his landlord for something. And the landlord called him and said, "What? You didn't give it to me?" And Quentin said, "I did." He had given the wrong half of it to him and thrown the check away.
Oh, well, at least you got it.
So, yeah. I'm like, get in the garbage
Right, you didn't. Wow.
and find it. So, and I immediately thought, my kids are financial illiterate.
Yeah.
Financially
Illiterate,
illiterate.
yes.
I didn't think when I gave them the check, I had to say, okay, now give this, write this in, fill out that,
Yeah.
and give this to them. Because you just assume.
Assume, right.
So I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I think there are 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds,
Yeah.
40-years-olds
And that's-
who don't know how to write a check.
Right.
20-year-olds who's like, can you write this check out? And granted, you're not going to do it a lot. But when you do it, and when you're doing
Right.
stuff, you kind of need to know.
Right.
Yeah.
So monetizing for me is the podcast is a
love
way
that.
to just, first of all, I just love talking, and it's a great way to interact with people that I absolutely adore. It's a great
Right.
excuse. So, but the podcast is almost a vessel for a greater thing.
Right.
And also, I want to be more a part of this community. That's one of the
Right.
reasons why I stayed here. That's why I've lived
That's
here for over
great.
50
And
years.
when are you starting? How can we find it?
Well, it'll be in September, so it's far
Okay,
off.
all right,
Yeah,
good.
but thank you
No,
for already
I'll
plugging
stay
me on
tuned.
my own podcast, Linda.
You bet I am. No, my gosh.
But that's the
I
way you
think
do
it's a
that,
great
and then
idea.
you partner with different corporations that see the value in your brand. So when you guys are getting information, I just want to let you know, no one's paying me. It's genuine information.
Right,
That's key.
right.
That's key there.
Yes.
Okay, so getting back to you, enough about
Okay.
you plugging me.
No, I
So
like that.
With journalism, we talked about why you left Fox News. You retired from that particular job, but I personally believe that you're not retiring from journalism. So with that being said, you have been a journalist for over 42 years. So you were a very young woman when you started.
Yes.
What made you decide to get into local television? And have you? This is Arizona in 1981. I moved here in 1976. So I know what Arizona was like. What were you thinking, young lady, thinking you're going to get a job on TV in 1981?
Well, when you have a mom, Joyce Williams, bless her soul. We lost her, less than 3 years ago. So when you have a mom who tells you that you can be anything, do anything, she's an English teacher. My dad was in the Air Force brat, moving around a lot. But when you have a mom who believes in your dream, and I started out when I went to ASU, I majored in print journalism. I wanted to write for newspapers and magazines. I wanted to write about women. I wanted to write about women of color. I wanted to write about children's struggles. My junior year, Professor Fritz Lee,
I love that you remember his name.
Oh, I do, and I've told him this.
That's so great.
Said to me, and I'm like, yeah. He goes, you have a nice voice.
You do.
Have you ever thought of doing broadcast journalism, radio or TV reporter? It had never crossed my mind.
So that's,
but 2 weeks later, I went in and switched my major from print journalism to broadcast journalism. I tell young people, if you're scattering around, listen to the people who know you, your parents, your teachers, your whatever. What do you think I'm good at? When do you think I'm happiest? Mm-hmm. Is there anything about me that stands out that you think I could use to push forward or roll forward? Because sometimes people see things in you that you would never see in yourself. No one had ever told me I had a nice voice.
Really?
Yeah.
But they tell you that now all the time.
Well, yeah, they do. They're like, oh, we miss you, we miss your voice.
Yeah,
They're like, we didn't know who you were, but when you started talking, that's when we thought, oh, that's Linda. That's Linda from the news.
The voice is everything, is it?
It kind of, apparently it is.
That's so crazy.
So based on that, I pivoted and I changed and I sent out just a few resumes and Channel 10 had an opening for an editor.
How many stations did we have at the time?
3.
Okay, so it was,
It was 5. It was 3, 12, and 5.
Right, and 3 was an ABC affiliate at the time.
Right,
Yeah.
and 5 was CBS, and 10 was CBS.
So you just sat down and then you got hired.
Well, I did interview with Bill Close.
Got it.
and I got the job. I couldn't edit, and that's what makes me sad about people coming in. I feel that a young woman, man, anything, ASU graduate coming to Channel 10 today and saying, hey, what's your entry-level position? Can I get a job and you'll teach me to edit? We'll say, oh, no, you have to have, even on the website, the requirements. You have 3 years of experience in this, 5 years of experience. So, they'll have to go to a smaller market. And that's what I was constantly told. You're not going to make it in this size market, even though we were in the 20s at the time.
We both started in this market. Thank you.
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm. People are like, what market did you start from? I go, this market.
This one, yeah. So got the job and just loved the writing. I just worked my way up. It took me a year to learn how to edit and went in, took my tape and said, hey, I put this together of me reporting. And they said, it was Phil Alvidrez, that name, Bill Miller, Bill Close.
Oh, wow.
They were all there, and they're like, we watched the tape. I just took old reporters' tapes from the day and edited my voice on. They said, in every single story that you redid, your story was better than the one that aired that day.
Wow, Linda.
Can you believe that?
Yes, I can.
So that's writing.
Yeah.
That's not how I looked. I didn't have the look. I didn't have the anything.
But you had it.
But I could write.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell them the fundamentals can be the difference between have you got the gig or not.
Yeah.
And I could write. And I was a strong writer.
Right.
I was a creative writer.
You still are a strong writer.
Thank you.
I can't wait. I can't wait to read. Linda doesn't know this, but she's probably going to write a book.
Everybody keeps telling me that. Okay.
Yes, and so we've recently given her. Oh, can I see this? I'm going to plug Christina. Christina
Let's do it
Estes,
again.
Off the Air, who's a local journalist, also just
I'm
recently.
so excited to read this.
It's a really great book.
Daphne has given me your book, Christine. I know Christine is watching this. because she had a few, and she's like, I said, I want it. I don't want it. And she's so, I got it.
Christina
and I'm on
actually listens to my podcast. She actually threw some things. I'm like, oh my God, you listen to it.
So I
That's
pulled
great.
Daphne in, whispering like anybody's here, and I'm like, so is this any good? I mean,
It's a great book.
Yeah. And she said, Linda, for real, it's a great book.
Yeah,
so
it
I'm
is.
diving in.
It's a
And
great-
not that I had any doubts, because I've read the reviews, and I know Christina, and I'm just excited to read it.
Okay, Linda, now we won't get too personal on your personal life, but one thing I know that you're really proud of is you have 2 great kids.
My children, I should pull their pictures up on the phone.
Yeah.
But Sierra and Quentin, they're both in New York, living the New York millennial life. I just got back from visiting them. We had a blast. They said, Mom, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to live your life. I don't want to go to the Empire State Building. I don't want to go to the museum. I don't want to do any of that touristy stuff.
So you wanted to see what they did?
I want to see what you do. I want to hang out with your
free.
friends. I want to, so we were in Brooklyn. So we played pool. We did trivia night. We went to the Brooklyn Museum because Beyonce's.
I was just there.
Not
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Hold on. Dietz.
Yes,
and
yes.
Alicia Keys.
Yes, Alicia
I just went
Keys.
there 3 weeks ago. It was the greatest.
Wasn't that a phenomenal?
It was so.
I've got
Their
pictures
art
on
is
my
so
phone
cool.
Of it. Yes.
But I always say, I'm so proud that they're so wealthy. But that's what happened when you get so wealthy. You get your own art collection
No
and put it on
kidding.
display.
And-
but it is
and
cool.
it's- wow.
And they have
It's
so
worth
many
seeing.
young artists. Like
I
they were
know.
born like in 1996. Did
I
you
know.
see some of
I
that?
know. I'm like,
Oh my God, I
1996.
really like their style.
So I loved it.
So if
I
you're going
loved
there.
that. We went to Harlem.
Uh-huh.
Hung out there like, Mom, you are, because I'm up there buying beanies 2 for $5. They're like, you're never going to wear those in Phoenix. I don't know, but they're 2 for $5. I go, when are you going to see a beanie 2 for $5?
But you'll go and visit them. You'll have to wear the beanies.
I will
there.
have to wear the beanies there. So I have every color beanie about. But I love the subway.
That's great.
I'm the only, and I said, you could tell I'm a tourist. I was the only person on the subway smiling.
Yeah, I saw that great picture of you sitting next to your son on the subway, and then your
yes.
daughter was taking the
Yes,
picture. That was
yes.
such a great picture.
I was just so, and I'm sure they think I'm a nut job.
No,
they think I'm
you're
such
cool,
a
mom.
dork.
You can tell they really dig you. They can tell you're a cool mom. I'm a cool mom too. My daughter likes to hang out with
Well,
me
I paid
too.
for their education, so they kind of. I'm the reason they got gigs and could afford to live in New York.
So they live in Brooklyn?
They live in Brooklyn.
Okay, that's so funny. Okay, ironically, I was just telling Linda that my daughter, who's 26, just told me about a month ago that she's going to move to New York, and she's moving to Brooklyn also because it's
All
affordable
right,
there.
we will hook them
Yeah,
up.
we have to. Absolutely.
She has to move quickly because Brooklyn is quickly becoming
really?
not affordable.
Well, she was going to move in January because she says it would be more affordable because it's cold. You think she should move sooner than later?
I think she should start exploring sooner
You know
than
what?
later.
I'm going to
Tell her
ask
to
you
get on there
if
right
we
now.
can connect our daughters together, and then my daughter can
Absolutely.
start talking to her.
Okay.
Okay, great. I'm glad you came over to talk about this.
This doesn't feel like we're on a podcast.
Right? It doesn't at all.
It feels like we're sitting on your couch
Just chit chat.
catching up.
Which is perfect, which is
Catching up.
exactly what we needed to
It's
do.
perfect,
Yes. And
yes.
Linda and I have had dinner a couple times throughout the years, and she's always made time for me, and I appreciate
Always.
you.
No, I will always make time
And ditto
for you.
from here. Ditto
Thank
from here.
you.
Okay, well, so end of that. Linda's career is not over with, but she has retired from Fox 10 News, as such as I have retired from ABC 15. And
Right.
we are now venturing into our new journey of our life to do things that are purposeful. We're mindful about how we live our life. And also, we have a lot of life experience to give, a lot
And
of
community oriented.
Yeah, huge, huge.
I've been talking with Children's Action Alliance. You know, I have a place deep in my heart for foster kids. I just do. So I am talking with them about, I've become an advocate, but we're trying to figure out what that looks like.
This
so
is so,
that
that's so
I
funny you
can,
say that.
why?
Because I literally, you said Arizona.
Children's Action Alliance.
Okay.
CAA.
Yeah, okay. So I just talked to, it was Susie Tims, and she referred me to another PR girl for Arizona Foster Care something.
Right.
And so, because I'm these money saving classes I'm teaching, so I'm in a position now where having to do the hustle isn't such a big deal.
Right.
So these foster care kids, when they're gone, when the state's done with them, that's it.
They age out at 18.
21 years old, and then you have. How are you going to manage your money? How do you know about groceries? How do you know about things to watch for? So I was like, you guys, they have this whole money thing course already there, but I'm going to be actually teaching classes, and I'm volunteering.
I should. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
so
so we should get
happy.
together for sure.
If I can help you,
Yes.
support you in any
Well, yeah,
way,
'cause I'm gonna have you
that
pop
is
in and do a little-
I would love to pop in. I'll pop in. No, that'd be great.
Okay, so enough about the career stuff. Thanks for sharing that. And I'm, again, to wrap it up, I'm so happy that you've moved on. Okay, let's talk about money savings.
Okay.
Now. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, I know you're frugal because you've got those 2 babies that you've been raising.
Right.
And so you
right.
have to be very mindful about your money. But one of the things I wanted to know was, what is something that you absolutely refuse to spend a lot of money on? That you're like, no, I'm not doing that.
Clothes.
Really?
Yeah.
On TV for 42 years and clothes, huh?
Well, because they expect you to change so much. You know, it's like, oh, they're not doing that anymore. They're doing this. Oh, they're doing that. Oh, these necklaces are in and stuff. I am not going to pay retail for the necklaces that, you know, the 3-tier necklace,
Right.
when next year it will be considered passe.
Right.
So I probably got this off Macari. I'm a big fan of eBay, Macari, Poshmark.
Oh, Posh.
I'm all over that.
See, buy used clothes from people.
Oh yeah, I'll buy used clothes and
love it.
shoes and jewelry.
I love. Oh my
Yes.
God, that's a great money saving tip.
It's the
Posh.
best money saving tip because clothes will eat you up. No, I'm not saying I don't go in and slap down my charge card and go to Nordstrom Rack or
Right.
Last Chance or Macy's or
Notice
any
she
of
didn't
that.
say Nordstrom. She said Nordstrom Rack. Is it
Well,
Nordstrom
yeah,
Rack? Right.
Nordstrom Rack.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm just saying, like how frugal you are. You're very. Same with me. I would never
I
go
don't
into
feel
Nordstrom.
frugal. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I don't feel frugal. I
value
feel
money too
money
much.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be money smart.
Yeah, I'm always
And
pinching my
then
pennies.
when you're ready to pass that on to, you know, Dress for Success or then you can give it without thinking, oh, I paid $85 for that dress.
Right.
You can say some other woman's going to enjoy my $12.99 special, you know, and pass on that as well. So that's my thing. I am also a bit of, it's not a thrift thing. It's more, the reason why I'm in Goodwill a lot and I like White Dove and I go to Salvation or any thrift stores. I'm a pottery hound. I'm a pottery hound.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love looking for old pottery and I collect Ray Dunn and I'm just, and like everybody else who goes to Goodwill, I'm thinking I'm going to find a painting that's worth $1 gazillion
Good luck with that one.
someone mistakenly. It happens. I reported on it once out of 42 years, so I know it happens. So I'm always hopeful.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Goodwill's at St. Vincent de Paul over on 7th Street Northern is a good place too for that. Okay, so when it comes to, I had something that you were saying.
I said Salvation Army. I meant St. Vincent.
Okay,
so
Salvation.
Okay.
Does Salvation
There's
Army
just
still
farther
do?
north. Yeah.
Oh, there's just further north.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you know, one of the things. So I actually think Goodwill's overpriced.
You think what?
I think Goodwill's overpriced.
Well, but they didn't used to be.
Yeah, they were so cheap back in the day.
They were good, but like everything right now.
Yeah, it's overpriced.
Goodwill is corporate America.
Yeah.
And someone came in and said, wait a minute.
We can charge more money.
Women like Daphne and Linda are in there buying Ralph Lauren for
$2.
$3.
Right.
So why don't we tell them it's $8.99 or $12 and they'll still pay it because it's still a great savings.
It is.
And they're right.
Yeah.
Are we not?
No, they're
We're still
right.
in there.
Yes.
And they've upped their prices. I agree.
Yeah, but
No.
they have the little tags that are on sale, like the purple tags
Right,
you get half
right.
off.
On any
so I
good
try and
day,
go on
you
those
should look
days.
when you
Yes,
go in.
when they have those things. I'll tell you, one person's trash is another person's treasure.
Exactly.
So, okay, well, when it comes for me, one of the things that I absolutely refuse to spend money on are tires for cars. I hate-
Really?
Yeah.
So how do you save on that? Because
Well, I
just
don't. I know I'm not doing
you
very
just
good.
hate spending it. But
Well, I drive an electric vehicle, and I did a whole story on this, but EV vehicles weigh way more in weight because of the batteries, so the tires
Okay.
don't last that long.
oh,
And my car, which is an i3, it's a BMW, they don't even make it anymore. It's electric, it only gets like 120 miles electric, but it only takes one brand of tires called Bridgestone, and I cannot buy them anyplace else, and they only take one size.
how much?
It is $1,600 every year. Wow. That's how I say that's the cost savings from the gas. It gets made up in
See,
tires.
that's the side of electric people never tell you about.
No, but I did. I sure
yeah,
did.
you
I
could
did
do
a
a
whole story.
whole podcast on just
Yeah.
some of the things that you don't realize
Yeah.
when you're buying electric.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So buyer beware there.
Oh,
okay.
good one. Good
Well,
one.
well, Linda, I think that's going to be a wrap. I appreciate you.
I loved this.
Yeah. Well, we'll look forward to seeing what your next adventure is going to be. The book that you're going to be writing that you don't know about.
Do you not want me to do real estate? She
Well-
does not, because my co-anchor was very disappointed when I said I'm getting my real estate license.
Really?
Yeah, he's like,
Really? No, you'll be
He
successful.
wants me to go change the world.
Well,
he's like, with your whatever and this and
yeah.
that, you should be running for office.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Really?
No.
Maybe later. You never know. You never.
As one consultant, a political consultant said to me, you are far too nice to get into this fight right now. I'm not willing to say anything or do anything for power and money. I'm just not.
Right. I
I'm not
agree.
there yet.
Well,
I doubt I'll change. So if the system changes,
Yes, I was going to say
may
if the
jump
system
in.
changed. Like if it came about helping people, I 100% would
Right,
get into
right,
politics. If
right.
it was genuinely about that.
Right.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But you never know. Your co-anchor was 100% correct on that. Linda.
Really?
Yeah, listen,
Okay.
real estate's great because if you got bills to pay, you got those, and you're going to
It's
help people
not
get
about
in your
bills to
houses.
pay.
But you're going to get
At the
people
end
nice
of
house.
the day, no, I'm not getting people's nice houses.
Okay, tell me why.
I just remember as a stressed out reporter, going through a divorce, kids are staying with their dads. I just remember opening the door to my house and closing it, and it was like a warm embrace because I was home.
Got it.
I have a sign in my garage, and when I pull it up, there's a big sign. It says, "Yay, you're home."
Right.
Home should be that.
Mm-hmm.
It should be. I'm not saying a warm embrace or anything, but it should be a place when you close the door, you feel safe.
Yeah, that's key.
And you're comfortable
Yep.
and you're happy there and you're building memories. So if people want to, I don't know, I want people to find that. So
Okay.
I want to help them. And I'm not doing it full time. I'm doing the foster thing. I'm doing real estate.
Okay.
And you apparently have me writing a book.
Right, I
After
do.
I read Christina's.
Yes.
So,
Well, you got a story to tell. And you know why people say that? It's not that they don't want you to be a real estate agent. It's because people admire you and look to you to lead them or give them advice. Meaning that, you leading your life quietly is great, but you still need to give us a little bit of Linda Williams on some level. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because you've been part of this community for 42 years, and people look to you, and we need to see you once in a while.
Okay.
Okay.
So you made your case well. I made my case well. We'll let them vote. Is there
Right.
some voting where they say, we like what Daphne said, we like what Linda said?
I'll have all the information from the show posted on my blog at smartshopperdaphne.com. And I appreciate you guys. Tune in next week. We'll have another interesting guest
This
on
has been
Smart
fun.
Living, right? It has been. And don't forget, I'm Daphne Monroe, your smart shopper. Thanks for the point, Linda.